Hi, my name is Mohit Sharma. I'm a developer advocate at Realm for MongoDB. If you haven't heard of Realm, it's an open source, embedded, object-oriented database for mobile, which helps you build offline first mobile applications. And soon we'll have a KMM version of our library ready for production. Today, I'm going to talk about how to build splash screens using SplashScreen API, which was introduced in Android 12. It is an old topic, I'll agree to that. People, developers, we have been talking how to build it the right way. But as you know, with the history, it has a lot of pain, inconsistency, compatibility issues, and everything. So when we originally started creating a splash screen, we used to first create a fake activity, which we call it as splash activity, with a timer in it. But then the whole idea was defeated with it. It didn't let you prevent the white screen showing when you tap on the app icon. So that's why we have splash screen, right? So that problem didn't got solved definitely. So after that, to solve that problem, we decided, let's create a theme and with a background, and we put it as a background, as a style for our activity. Definitely, this solved most of our problems, but then if you'll talk to the business people, they'll try to come back to you saying, hey, while doing this, you kind of missed out the brand promotion. Now, my splash screen is perfect, but my brand is not getting highlighted. So then you're back to the same choice. Like you'll think, okay, now let's add the timer again, but then we are back to square one, right? So that's not a good solution at all. But with the SplashScreen API, this is all set to go. We'll have a standardized implementation, so all the inconsistency will go away. While you're having a code review, you'll not have those unnecessary arguments with your peers that this should be done in this way or this should be done in that way and all those stuff. Boilerplate code, timer is gone. SplashScreen API is backward compatible, so you don't have to worry whether this is going to be supported by the previous versions or not. So you're safe in that case. And it also supports multiple use cases, which we are going to talk about shortly. But before we jump down into the actual coding, let's try to see what are the design elements of a splash screen. Any splash screen primarily consists of 4 design elements. The first one is the app icon itself. It should be a vector drawable. It can be static or animated, whatever is best suited for your need. If you don't provide one, the app icon itself will be treated as the icon. Second is the background for the icon. Third is the foreground mask, which is there for adaptive icons. And the fourth one is the window background, which should be single opaque color. Now let's see how we can implement this. We start this by creating the theme again. We add these all elements to it, all the 4 elements which I have discussed earlier. And I've also added one more at the bottom, which is the branding image, which comes down to the bottom of the screen. When we create this file, we put this file all together in value v31 folder. v31, right? It's not backward compatible. Let's wait for a while. I'll tell you how to make it backward compatible very shortly. And that's all is required to make a splash screen. You don't have to do anything else. Just one file and your splash screen is ready. It seems to be too simple, right? But let's see whether it is able to handle all the use cases or not. One of the very common use case, which I also mentioned earlier, the product owner's requirement. Let's hold off the splash screen for a while so that my brand gets promoted a lot. You can do this very easily with pre-draw listener. You just add that listener and you can hold it off till the time you want it. This is also help for the developers because before starting any application, you want to download some user-specific data or some pre-app launch data. So you can make the splash screen dynamic enough so that you don't have to put a timer, let's say, for example, 2 seconds or 4 seconds, because it depends on the network speed, right? So this is also helpful in that case. So it will look something like this. So in this case, I'm downloading some data in the background. This is in the infinite loop, so you'll see it continuously. Let's look at another use case. Another thing is, whenever we are exiting from one screen to another, we want to have a smooth transition. And in few of the cases, you want to have your own custom animation as well. This can be also very easily done with the help of exit animation listener. Now let's come down to the main point, backward compatibility. Backward compatibility is one of the very key point whenever you're trying to take up any new feature which has come up from the Android, because you're never sure how much back support you'll have, whether you're gonna have the same flexibility or the same compatibility with all the devices and all the vendors. That's a really hard question. But with this feature, you don't have to worry. It's backward compatible, at least with all the 4 primary design elements which I have mentioned you earlier. To make it compatible, let's see what we have to do. Nothing much, as I mentioned you. This is also very simple. Just add the dependency. Once the dependency is added, we create another style file, and we add it to a regular theme file, the values folder, the proper original values folder. But there are a few minor changes. If you'll see here in this style file, I have the parent is SplashScreen, and there is an item called post SplashScreen theme, which is nothing but tells the system what it has to do once the splash screen has been closed off. Last step is, in your splash screen activity, you'll have to simply call a function, install a splash screen function. That's all is required. This will make your splash screen backward compatible. Rest all the code, whether it be animation or transition, remains the same. You don't have to do much. So now, I think so by now you'll agree with me that this is far cleaner approach, which will provide a consistent view across all devices. One of my favorites is that I can get rid of the splash screen altogether. Some of you might say it violates a single responsibility principle, but for me, I'm kind of happy with it because it was just acting as a delegator for me. So I can get rid of it altogether. Some of the limitations which I felt while implementing splash screen was, with the realm as having such a vibrant color, you cannot have multiple background colors. You need to have a single opaque color. So here I have to move back or scale back to white color. Another thing is that the dependency which is we added for the backward compatibility is still in alpha. So it's not officially production ready. So that's another thing. The branding image which you see in the bottom of the screen, MongoDB, it is still not backward compatible. So you will see it in all the devices going forward from V31. And last, you cannot give the complete screen and animation. Only the icon is allowed to be animated. Any questions? Thank you then. We have a booth as well. So please come and join us. We'll be happy to see you and you'll get a chance to win an Octolus there. Thanks a lot.